Bass, bass, bass. Till's voice is just so stunning in that low bass range. What a joy this was to break down his performance, live performance of Engel from the Madison Square Garden. Absolutely wonderful. He just is like sitting on these incredible low notes for just line after line after line. Not to mention the showmanship and the angel wings and the band absolutely smashing to keep that foundation rolling. But it was an awesome experience. I hope you guys enjoy my first time reaction and analysis to Engel by Rammstein. See you after.
Amerika. Total German. Amerika.
Just the introduction is so much like a film score, like sound design. There's these like bass. I just watched Dune Part 2 again last night. There's like these big, gorgeous Hans Zimmer bass synths that unfold. Now, this is not quite like that, but all to say, it almost feels like a film score in the beginning here. And I also love the chopped up vocal editing for those samples. Very jarring, obviously supposed to be dissonant, harmonically, having us feeling on edge. Yeah, I'm going to go back a few seconds, but let's just go ahead and get on into the meat of this live performance from Madison Square Garden. I would love to go see a Rammstein show at some point. Absolutely sensational. We got Till coming up with the giant angel wings. I'm so excited to hear what he does. A reason people seem to enjoy me commenting on Rammstein is because Till has this low, gravelly bass voice that I have a unique understanding about as a bass singer, and I can kind of do what I call the movie trailer voice and engage the false vocal folds and really explain what he's doing down there that probably is very foreign to a lot of listeners. But we'll get into that. We got these heavy guitars, heavy drums coming out of that film score-like introduction. Super, super epic. Everything Rammstein does is so epic and big and operatic in a way. So good. And all right, well, I bet Till's about to drop some bass vocals on us. So let's see what happens.
Zeit gut auf Erden, wird nach dem Tod ein Engel werden. Dem linken Himmel fragst du dann, warum man sie nicht sehen kann.
And it's so interesting hearing his voice in a live setting versus studio, because even though this is microphone and amplified, and in studio setting it's recorded, so you can change levels for the vocals, the really low, gravelly, super bassy stuff is so much quieter here. Like, he does his kind of low chest range, resonant part of his voice, and then he gets into that kind of low, gravelly stuff at the end of phrases, and it gets much quieter because the mic just doesn't pick up as much sound as opposed to in a studio recording. It's almost treated more like a voiceover, and you can really beef it up. But so he's really, true Till Lindemann fashion, he's really at least starting this piece out in that much more speech-like place. There's really no clear melody. It's just like delivering the text, which we have: Wer zu Lebzeit gut auf Erden, wird nach dem Tod ein Engel werden, den Blick gen Himmel fragst du dann, warum man sie nicht sehen kann. So this is our first set of lyrics here. Again, I'm just sight reading the German text, which, if you didn't see my last videos, I've had tons of training in German diction because I sing opera professionally. I'm not fluent in German. I know some things, but I've gotten pretty good at, being able to sight read German text and sound at least passable. So that's our first set of lyrics here. Let's listen back to Till take it on again. Wer zu liebt sein guter Welt. It's very like strained and low in his chest voice, but not into that gravelly place, not yet on that first line.
Wer zu lebt sein guter Welt, wird nach dem Tod ein Engel werden.
Werden. So by the end of that phrase, wird nach dem Tod ein Engel werden, it gets down into that gravelly place, and it almost gets inaudible over this speaker system because it's mostly air.
Wird nach dem Tod ein Engel werden.
Hear that? Almost silent.
Den Blick gen Himmel fragst du dann.
Den Blick gen Himmel fragst du dann. And then he gets down into the gravel again, like the first part, very clear, low, resonant chest register, and then all that stuff gets really, really quiet under this amplification system.
Den Blick gen Himmel fragst du dann. Warum man sie nicht sehen kann.
Warum ich mich nicht sehen kann? And he stays in that chest. How low does he go there? God. It's about a low D. About a low D. I'm sorry, I'm flipping back and forth between the lyrics and the piano to pick out notes. So he just has a nice resonant low D there and chest voice at the end.
Warum man sie nicht sehen kann. Wenn die Wolken schlafen gehen, kann man uns am Himmel sehen. Wir haben Angst und sind bereit. Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel sein.
So we're in D major here, bum, bum, bum. And so those three lines there, and I think is the pre-chorus or something. Erst wenn die Wolken schlafen gehen, kann man uns am Himmel sehen. Wir haben Angst und sind allein. He sings pretty much all of that kind of on like a low D. He's like, erst wenn die Wolken schlafen gehen, kann man uns am Himmel sehen. Like just kind of operates down there the whole time. I love the clip of that fan going wild. There it is.
Wenn die Wolken schlafen gehen, kann man uns am Himmel sehen. Wir haben Angst und sind
Allein.
Gott weiß, ich will kein
Engel
sein.
So that's about an octave higher. Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel sein. And he ends on that D, that middle D for a bass voice.
Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel sein.
I love the whistle. So cool. Yes, low Ds.
Getrennt von uns unendlich weit. Sie müssen sich an Sterne klammern, ganz fest, damit sie nicht vom Himmel fallen.
You know, this is so funny. I just did an analysis for Avi Kaplan's new song where he sings a ton of low Bs, gorgeous resonant low Bs. Now, and his whole vocal range in the lead is low B to F sharp, B1 to F sharp 2, bass, 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 bass. And I couldn't think of anyone else at the moment where they operate for most of the solo in that range. And I just happened to do a Rammstein song right after that, and Till is almost always in that low bass range. Now, he doesn't do quite the style of singing that Avi does most of the time, and they have very different voices, of course, both basses. But Till right now is just singing low Ds in this kind of gravelly low chest voice he has. Sie leben hinterm Sonnenschein. It's just like pretty much all on a low D for the entirety of this verse. And you just don't hear that. You don't hear that anywhere else.
Sie leben hinterm Sonnenschein. Getrennt von uns unendlich weit.
That was a little breathy.
Sie müssen sie ganz Sterne klappen.
Ganz fest.
Damit sie nicht vom Himmel fallen. Erst wenn die Wolken
Schlafen gehen.
kann man uns am Himmel sehen. Wir haben Angst und sind allein. Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel sein.
So this is a kind of, I didn't think that was the chorus earlier because this is a very kind of non-standard arrangement. We have verse and then chorus, A, B, A, B, but it feels more like verse, pre-chorus, and then one line of chorus. The, damit, what's the line? Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel. Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel sein. Whatever the pattern is. It feels like that's the chorus line and the others are kind of like building up to it. This is just so cool. Hearing him just operate truly on that low D. Is you just, I mean, it's so rare. You hear that kind of note repeated. I mean, in any genre, really. In opera, it's extremely, the lowest aria written for opera in the, like, out of like standard repertoire, so we call it, has low Ds in it. I actually just performed that piece multiple times in these shows, and it's so difficult to perform them loudly enough to be performed in an operatic setting with staging and movement, and it's like fiendishly difficult. If you want to look up like probably the hardest aria written for bass voice, look up Osmin's aria from Mozart's Die Entführung aus dem Seraglio, or the Abduction of the Seraglio. Abduction from the Seraglio. Osmin's aria, notoriously the hardest, lowest low bass aria. I just had to perform it, and it has low Ds like you're hearing here in a very different context. All to say, it's a very rare to hear someone just operating there on low Ds. Very, very rare.
Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel sein.
Wow. Both an outfit and a soundscape I was not expecting from Rammstein. Our man on the decks back there with the shiny sparkly suit doing this kind of like it's like final boss battle from like a 90s video game. That's the first thing that came to my head. Maybe even an 80s video game. They didn't really have bosses in 80s video games, did they? 90s. So we clearly have this big down section here too. So we've like the sound got pretty big there. We're a little more than halfway through, but if they kept that energy the whole way, it would totally get stale. So like good songwriters, they've brought it way down into this kind of like bridge-like section. Before, presumably they'll build it back up for a climactic section towards the end, but you have to do that. You have to have contrast in the sound. It can't just be a wall of sound the whole time or it gets exhausting. It's very electronic, though. Mind you, he's also like, he's still got these notes, presumably after performing like a big chunk of this concert. He looks pretty exhausted and sweating. He still has access to those low Ds. That's another thing that's how you know he's a really low bass, truly. To have those notes in a performance setting, you know, you're in front of people, your energy's up. Usually high energy takes away low notes. Overuse of the voice in the moment takes away low notes. Then the next day you usually have really good low notes. But in the moment, that can take away low notes. So the fact that he's got them there is very rare. It's a very rare voice. Till has a very rare voice. Can schlafen gehen.
Kann man uns am Himmel
Now we have some high harmonies coming from somewhere. Sounds like female vocals, but I don't believe any females are in Rammstein. Backing vocals or just for the show? Just for the show, maybe. That time he stayed on that A instead of going Engel sein. Stayed right there. Still got a couple minutes of the song left, right? So we'll probably need another bridge section to kind of bring it down again because we're back to that wall of sound. We also just got a repeat of the pre-chorus and chorus text, essentially. And in the lyrics here, it says we have another repeat of that coming up. So presumably to keep this interesting for a whole 6 minutes, there will have to be something different about the arrangement over the next 2 minutes. If they just repeat this, for me personally, that's I'm gonna lose that engagement if nothing changes. So I'm interested to see what they do here. Very interested. Is that high A again? Still going. Whistle, the whistling is changing. The whistle pattern is changing a little bit till staying on that high A or middle A at the end of each vocal line instead of going down to the D. But aside from that, that's the same. Drums are the same. Bass is the same. All that's staying very consistent. And he does put a little bit of vibrato. Sein. Right? It's not a full it's not full operatic technique by any means like that, despite being operatic in performance. But he is putting a little bit of that vibrato, which is, a page out of the classical world, just one page out of the classical world, on the ends of these long sustained notes. Okay, more chaotic, even more chaotic. Someone's crowd surfing. God, they are just going. Now, here's the thing. I don't know. This is my first time hearing the song. I don't know how different this is than the studio version, so you guys can let me know below. This is obviously a live performance. Often, I don't know if this is the case here, but often bands in a live performance will extend songs, especially if the energy's good. If the crowd's still feeling them, they can just loop it. They can look around at each other. Bands have a good way of communicating on stage. Say, all right, we're just going to run this section again. Whistle guy, you keep whistling. Guitar guy, do some more chaotic shit, till, sing the last line when you feel like it or make up stuff, whatever. You can do this in live performance to extend a performance that maybe in the studio version it's already done. Now, Rammstein is known for long songs. They have a number of long songs, like Deutschland is one, for example. Du hast, I think, is pretty long. So maybe it is this long in studio and there is a lot of repetition towards the end, or maybe this is a live performance thing. More and more chaotic. Till's jacked too. Look at those arms. Jeez Louise. Okay, major down section. Is this the end? His wings. Wings on fire.
Just stupid good.
Rammstein in America.
A real taste of Germany.
Awesome. All right. Amazing. Amazing. We did get a little difference towards the end. It just turned into kind of this atmospheric thing as Till's walking off stage with his Engel wings. All right, guys, that was it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you gained some appreciation for this awesome group, especially Till's vocals. That's really what I'm here for Rammstein, is to give some insight into Till's voice and what a bass voice is and what a bass voice does, because it's very foreign to a lot of people and confusing, quite frankly. If you did, please consider joining my Patreon community, and I'll see you in the next Rammstein video.